All right, good late evening, peoples. It's Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. Let me get going on Roundhill. The three indexes, the Russell, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 along with YBTC. So every so often we get the XPay, which is paid monthly. So that's not till next month. All right, let's jump into the detail and then I'll take you through the summary. So what did XDTE pay? Well, it paid 22 cents. You see it in the yellow orange. 22.7% annualized yield based on that weekly payment. Um, Positive is we were up 5 cents after being up last week 16 cents in the reference, right? So we went from 50.38 to 50.43. Better than being down. All right. So that's your yield there. No real reason to look at the chart because we now have what, 3 payments. So this will be a 4 payment month and we're now at 45.63, call it 63 cents with one more weekly payment for this month. So that's definitely going to be a smaller one. 60, what did I say? 63. So let's say we do 22, 23 cents, 85, 86. Yeah, we've been there. We've been 83, we've been 88, but it definitely on the lower end. Reminder, the greens, okay, so this is XDTE over all the last months, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 10 months. Too hard to get all the months written down here. But you can see, and the significance of the green is when there were 5 payments in a month. You expect those normally to be higher, like this was the case, trended down, went up, but then we had to, well, it was almost the biggest month. The end of the year is the biggest because they do more return of capital on that guy. All right, let's jump back and look at QDTE, the NASDAQ 100. 24.6, almost 25. So a higher yield, and that's 3 months, and pretty significant move up, 0.425 on this index, and that's 3 months in a row that it's up. What were we, 2 months up here? Yeah, 2 months. Um, 31.55. Both of this weeks on the XDTE and QDTE were down slightly compared to the previous month, percentage wise and amount, but close. Um, so the setup here puts us at about 72 cents, 73 cents with another, say, 25. So that puts it at about 98. Well, where does 98 stack up in the months for the QDTE? Well, that's lower. Clearly, we've had a 99. We've had a 102. So that could be a new low if it just paid 25 cents. It would just be in the high 98s, maybe reach 99. So definitely on the lower threshold. Obviously, this is year end. Why the big payment, right? And this is a 5 month scenario. So we're trending about the same as last month, to be honest. All right, let's look at RDTE. Down 5 cents, down 7 cents. Okay, we go back to here the last time we had a lower payment. 122. Okay, so still a 25 and up 9 cents after 3 consecutive. The Russell wasn't faring as well as the S&P and the NASDAQ indexes, right? So we at least went positive even if it was 9 cents. But a paltry 25%, right? We had a 25 there, we had this 24. Did I do the monthlies? No, because I really only have 2 months worth. So it's time I do a chart on that. All right, XPay did not pay, but let's go to our summary page and then I'll do YBTC for you guys. All right, So here's your summary with current price. Again, I always use inception price, right? At some point, I'll change that when we get out, 6 months, well, actually, we are. Maybe at the year, this is getting close. When we get to the year point, maybe I'll go back and I'll use my price. I'll leave inception price, but I'll put a new column in here and I'll say 6 months ago, right? Because you guys all know the spreadsheet I built to track all of this stuff. I like to look at 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months on these things. So on your yields, let's take a look. So the winner, let's just go to total return. Again, to remind anybody that's new, what is total return? Well, did your index from when you bought it go up or did it go down? Is it worth more than what you paid for it or worth less? So you have some kind of gain if you were to sell just based on buying either XDTE, QDTE, or RDTE, right? With RDTE, only having 111 days into existence, 162 days. Whoops. Oh, sorry, guys. This is XPay down here. So these two indexes have 349 days now of paying. They're coming up on their year on March 7th. Okay. This RDT has 162 days. A reason I have this other one down here at 111, that's XPay. All right. So we know what total return is. Total return is figuring out what is the yield annualized, what is your gain or loss annualized. So what did I use? I use inception price, right? That's what you could have bought it at the close on the first day that the fund traded. So where are we now? Well, we're only down 2.95, but again, this fund, jumping down to RDTE, it's only been around 162 days. This is pretty good for XDTE, down 3.87. Again, when you're yielding pretty good money, I'm not one to tell you don't buy it because, I mean, do I love to see green and green, right? Go look at PLTY for Palantir, the yield max, and you see like a 45% gain in the last 3 months. 31% of that is the NAV gain, right? So they get to 20% by having a slower yield, right? The annualized dividend yield is 24.33. If you buy QTTE, you're 9 points better, but you're 9 points worse. And if you bought it at the beginning, people always say, yeah, but Bruce, I'm a great trader. I bought it right in. Well, if you're trading, don't even trade income funds. Just go out and trade the underlying index or write your own options or something. I mean, if you're really going to be a frequently trader, I know what some of you mean is I DCA in so I get a pretty good average price. And that's smart. I think you should always be, especially you guys that have 10, 20, 30, 40-year horizons. I'm already taking my RMDs, right? Out of my retirement account. I'm forced to take some. But I still invest in my taxable account as well because I love yield, I love income, but I play it both ways. Okay, let me just keep on track here. In other words, I'll trade the underlying stock because sometimes that's a better deal than just collecting the yield, especially when they're running or you get in a 2x. So these are the same total return, right? 20%. Who's worried about the rounding number, but they go about it two different ways. So again, I accept the fact if you tell me, Bruce, I get more dividends along the way, and you do. You've collected 1475 and you didn't spend as much money, right? You only collected 1220 on this guy. It's just from 52, it only went to 5043. This one went 46 down to 40. So percentage wise, and this annualizing of these numbers isn't that much different, right? Not at 349 days, just a 1.04 times, right? When it gets to be 365, it's a 1. So anyway, that's what you're looking at. Now, RDTE has been down a little more lately. So I would say over the last month or so, it's not trending as well as the NASDAQ is. But still, at 162 days, it has the highest annualized dividend, right? It's 6.7. almost right. It's not even at the halfway. That's 324 days. Okay, so it's at 6.7. If you double that, you're at you're at 13.5. Okay, and this is at 1475. So these aren't radically different, but your NAV, you aren't being killed as much, even though it's been down. This thing was really holding up until a month or two ago. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Let me give you YBTC and I'll get out of here. All right. And in some fairness of this, well, let me jump in and give that to you. So on 219, it paid 28 cents. It's down from 29, down from a couple of big ones here with return of cap. Well, this one clearly was a return of capital. Well, no, these two were the main ones, $1.03. This is a big amount that it paid here on 129 and on 56. Okay, and now it's 29 and 28. Um, so you've seen some radical, well, and that's Bitcoin because you had when it was running with the new election when Trump got elected and won the election, that was significant. You saw what Bitcoin did, right? It really jumped because he had pandered a little bit to that audience and told them that he saw it as an American strength and he wanted to continue with that. So even though it's trending down here, look at your weekly change, 46.14. So that's 4 consecutive weeks. I count 660. That's down about $6.60 when you figure it popped three here and it was up to 52.95, but that's to be expected. BTC ran 105, something like that. Maybe it hit 108. I don't remember exactly, but it's back in the 90s now. So this can all change, but especially since they went to weekly. Oh, sorry, guys. When I'm looking at these big numbers, remember all this white? That's when they were paying once a month. So it isn't really fair to compare, right? $1.77, and you see month October, month November. Now you have to add four of these. So the current trending in here is 56 cents. Call that 30, 86, and 28, 114. Okay, and say you get another 30 cents, so you got 144. That's not that far off. You've seen 160, 211, 88, 177. So it's still paying, guys. So here's what you want to look at. I always show a comparison of YBIT, but I want to give you in some fairness to YBIT. YBIT pays once a month. YBTC is now paying once a week. So when is YBIT going to pay? Later this week. So it must be in group A. So when you come out here, it hasn't got its February payment. It will. So if I come out here and I just call it 75 cents, right? Because it's been 70, 78, who knows? But that'd be my guess, okay? Um, then it pops it up a little bit. So dividend annualized is still in favor of YBIT. But here's a perfect example of why I care about total return. You're close enough in your dividend annualized yield, but look at this. This is the killer. Total return is 45%, and this is 4%. Why is that? Because look at the stock, look at YBIT. And for quite a while it was on BITO. It's now on YBIT, which is what YBTC uses for the most part. But you're talking, it's 1198. It's still 1198. I made sure I double checked that. And inception was $20.45 some, 10 months ago. So 303 days versus 398 days, but that's annualized down to 365. So that's why you're getting killed over here. Um, and so I thought I would just throw up a yield that's going to be within a nickel one way or the other. And in some fairness, YBTC will have one more that YBIT won't have this month, right? It'll have another 25, 28, 30 cents. So these are going to get closer and closer here. And but it does look like YBIT is stabilized. Okay, if somebody has it and didn't want to trade out, I think most of you know YBTC, the better performer. Will it be going forward? I'm not sure, but it has been. So if you're in it, stay in it. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. I'm going to try and do more with my new database table sophistication and do some videos on that. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can put it on a website, or there's a way. I know how to protect the sheet so people can't copy the sheet and let you do some of your own searches. I'm just not sure what platform I use to let you access it on. I don't, because normally you go to like Google Drive and you want to download it. Well, I don't want people to download it because I have a lot of intellectual, a lot of work in that, that all it takes is one bad guy to go out and claim it as his own and do that. And so I'm looking, if you got any thoughts or ideas, I could use a little help in that. But I think it's worthwhile in helping people search high yield funds and compare in 3 months and 6 months and 12 months. And, do I want a higher risk, higher yield fund? Do I want to look at something else? Just what all's out there. Let's say you want to be in crypto and you want to be in Bitcoin oriented, right? So there's a whole bunch of approaches to that. Let alone, do I want to go out and get a single stock fund, or do I want to get a lethargy or Caputi, something like that, where I get a small, basket of stocks. So there's just a lot, and the market's getting more sophisticated and there's more offerings, and it's hard to track it all. I'm sure you guys see it. I'm pretty bullish right now on some Chinese. Look at KWeb, not so much KBA, but KWeb, there's another one or two that come out of Hong Kong, and there's one that you can buy US ADRs that tracks the Hang Seng on Hong Kong. Those look to be, China's been very undervalued. So taking off my nationalistic USA hat and just saying, hey, these are undervalued. I expect them to move up. There's a lot of good Chinese stocks there. All right, guys. This is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. Again, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Fun and education. Have a great one. Bye for now.